Hey guys, if you are new to the channel, my name is Spencer. I run GOATcher's Cards up here in Northeast Oklahoma. I've been asked to do a update video on my personal collection. So about a month ago, I made a video talking about one of the methods that I used this year to increase the value of my collection, and that sparked some interest in seeing what what I collect. So I wanted to make that video and just show you all what I'm keeping in my box that I'm not touching, that's not for sale. I say that I've got two cards I'm going to show you that are for sale. I just have them priced high enough that I'm hoping they don't sell, because I like having them around. So we're going to start off with those, and then we'll jump into what's actually in my personal collection. Okay, so first off, this is a first edition Dark Hypno from Rocket. I actually picked this up at a card show. Somebody brought it to me and traded it in. No, I'm sorry, they didn't trade it in. I bought it from them. So they brought it to the table, and I picked it up, which was fantastic because that was a horrible, horrible show, and it ended up ending really well. This is the second card that I am proud to own. I'm actually not a big Charizard fan. He doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I can pay my respects to a reverse holo Skyridge Charizard in a PSA 8. This card is fantastic. It's so cool. I got this off of my buddy Alex. He's a card vendor. Attends some of the shows that I do here in Oklahoma, and he actually brought this to my table in one of the previous videos and traded it in for some modern. So if you are interested in seeing that, check it out. It was at the 10 Point Collectibles show a couple months ago. All right, we're going to get into the cards that I actually collect, and we're starting off with a heater. This is a PSA 9 Mewtwo EX from Ruby and Sapphire. I picked this card up at my first ever Collecticon. I was so proud to have picked this up. It is absolutely gorgeous. I just love this card. I don't have any intentions of this card going anywhere anytime soon. Number 2, a Latios EX in a PSA 9 Delta species from Dragon Frontiers. Again, a really cool card. I actually had spent some time trying to sell this, and I decided that I was going to keep it around. So I do collect, you're going to notice a trend, I do collect PSA 9 EX cards from the older sets. I would collect 10s, but they're just too expensive. I'd add one card a year. So gorgeous card. Groudon EX from Hidden Legends. Another fantastic card. I actually graded this one myself. Several of these I graded myself, but absolutely gorgeous. We also got a Ninetales EX in a Mint 9. This card is also from Hidden Legends. Super cool artwork. Look at the eyes. It's just fantastic. I also picked this card up from my first ever Collecticon event that I attended. This is a PSA 9 Entei EX from Team Magma versus Team Aqua. I technically got into Pokemon during Generation 2. I really love Lugia and the birds, but I did start to get very heavily invested in Pokemon during Generation 3. So it wasn't until Generation 3 where I was really into it. And so the Team Magma versus Team Aqua trend was always a favorite of mine. Loved it. I wasn't into really the cards much at the time. It was more so the Game Boy games and all that. Here is a Holon Phantoms PSA 9 Mightyena EX. I picked this up from vintage stock. surprisingly, this card was in phenomenal shape. And I went ahead and grabbed it. Just an absolutely beautiful card. See if I can make that a little more clear. Very, very cool card. Again, in a Mint 9. Also got an Aggron EX in a PSA 9. This is the card from Sandstorm. Beautiful card. It actually has a really good holo, but my lighting at the moment's not reflecting it too well. Cradilly EX, again from Team Magma versus Team Aqua. Let me know down in the comments, guys. During Ruby, Sapphire, and well, I guess, I don't know if Emerald had the same or not. Yeah, it did. During Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, did you go with Cradilly or did you go with Armaldo? I restarted the game so many times that I did both. But I always had a soft spot for Cradilly. I just think it's such a cool Pokemon. Lileep is really cool, you know, so really happy to have that one. I graded that one myself as well. PSA 9 Muck EX from Dragon. Super cool Muck. Very dark artwork. Really, really cool. I graded this one myself as well. If you see that door going in the back, it's my dog. She just opened it. Also have a PSA 9 Hidden Legends Registeel EX. This card is just fantastic. It's got the cracked ice holographic on it. And so if you ever get a chance to get your hands on one of these, very, very cool card. Very nice. All right, we're going to get into the big ones, and I accidentally just showed it right there. So we've got a Gengar EX from Fire Red Leaf Green. I actually picked this up at the last CollectCon that we attended. Put in some trade as well as a little bit of cash on top. This was one of my chase cards when I started going after Mint 9 EX cards from this era. And so blessed to have found this card. This was at the Kansas City CollectCon in 2024. So we had spent a good chunk of the first day looking for that card, never found it, and ended up finding it on the second day. And then to top off my Mint 9 EX cards, so far, we got a Rockets Snorlax EX and a Mint 9. I purchased this card online. I did not pick this up at a show. The deal was not great, but it was good enough. I paid him in full PayPal. There was no trade involved. This is a very expensive card. I will try to go through the video if I have enough time and see if I can put some prices up here for you guys, just so you can get an idea of of what stuff like this costs if you decide you also want to get into collecting this. All right, I'm going to move these over because we still have a handful to get through. All right, next one. We have the Rayquaza Sea Hollow from Frontier. This is a first edition. This is a gorgeous Rayquaza. I actually picked this up off of Parkmon V4 on YouTube. Got it during one of his claim sales. He said it was minty. I trusted him, and he was right. We graded it and ended up getting the Gem Mint 10. So I do have some 10s in my collection. It's mainly stuff that I've graded. If I'm buying old vintage cards to add to the PC, oftentimes I'm picking up 9s because it's just too expensive. I'm going to show you all something that probably be pretty impressed with. I graded these myself. I was ecstatic. These will never leave my collection unless I just need it for some reason or another. We've got the PSA 10 Primal Groudon EX from Ancient Origins. This is a very expensive card in a 10, and I picked this up raw. We also have the PSA 10 Kyogre, Primal Kyogre EX. Let's see if I can make that a little more clear for you guys. Just an absolutely amazing card. Oop, sorry, there we go. So now we've got the two, and by the way, they are sequential. And finally, we have the Mega Rayquaza EX from Ancient Origins. So I did get the full PSA 10 trio in sequential order. Just an amazing, amazing group of cards. The Rayquaza here alone, I think sales are somewhere around 1,700 to 1,800. Kyogre is around 7, maybe 800, and I want to say that the Kyogre or the Groudon is up to 900 to maybe 1,000. So this is a very expensive trio. I am extremely proud to own these, and those probably won't be going anywhere. Now everybody's wondering, well, Spencer, you know, you graded them yourself, so what'd you get them for? You guys will never believe me. I paid $225 for the 3. All of them. That was shipping included, everything. So the guy had a small lot that he was selling. I saw those mixed in with the rest, and I just thought, dude, you got to send me those. All right. This was another chase card at the last Collecticon in Kansas City that we attended. Ended up picking this up from Goldenrod City Collectibles. Fantastic Mint 9 Shining Tyranitar. Super cool card. Just the coolest looking artwork. I love the pose. I am a Tyranitar fan. This card is something special. Don't plan on moving this anytime soon. There may come a day. I'm not as attached to that card as like my Primals and the Ray, but I am pretty attached. Save those for the end. We've got some that are a little, let's see here, not as expensive. We've got a Regirock Gold Star in a PSA 6. So I was going to continue the trend of collecting these vintage cards in you know, 9s and 10s. But Gold Stars have shot up, baby. They are expensive. So I am just picking, whenever I pick up a Gold Star, if it looks good on the front and the back isn't like too damaged, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. And I'm okay with 6s. I'm okay with, you know, 5s. But I love the Gold Stars, and I want to keep adding them to my collection. And I also don't want to spend, you know, $100,000 collecting PSA 10 Gold Stars, so we're just going to stick to it. This card I graded myself. This is a PSA 4 Trico Gold Star. Now, I know why this card got a 4. I was very surprised that they gave it such a low grade, though. I expected a 6. Outside of a wrinkle that is right here on the tree, this card is in pretty good shape. So I was surprised that it got a 4. Like I said, I was expecting a 5 or a 6. But, you know, it got the 4. So I've actually picked this up off of a lady in France who was amazing to work with, and she ended up sending me that card. I went out on a limb and trusted her to get it to me here in the United States, and she did a good job. Here's another card that we picked up, last card that we picked up at the Kansas City Collecticon last year. Torchic Gold Star in a Excellent to Mint 6. And this card has one of the best holo patterns out there. Look at that swirl right up near the head, right there. God, it's just awesome, guys. It's so sweet. And this is another one of those that I was surprised got a 6. I think it might have some scratches on the hollow foil, which is probably why they gave it the 6. But when the guy sold this to me, we did a coin flip. I won it. I think it was like $50. But when I took this card from him, he said I would consider regrading that because I think it's a 7. I don't think I'm not gonna crack it and send it in. I'm not brave enough for that with a card of this magnitude, and I'm happy with a 6, especially for the price I got it for. So I think this card now is going for about 1,100, maybe a little bit more. Gold stars have gone up, so it might be going for 12. I ended up picking it up for $800. We're gonna get into a few cards that are sentimental to me that are not high value. I'll show you what else I keep around. So this is a Mint 9 Pikachu from Cosmic Eclipse. The reason that I have this card and I kept it around is because my brother-in-law actually made it a point several years back to start picking me up some packs for Christmas every year. This was the first year that he picked me some packs while he was up in Boston. And I ended up pulling the secret rare from Cosmic, or one of them, I guess. Beautiful card. I knew it wouldn't tin out when I sent it, but it didn't matter because the goal with this was not to get the greatest value out of it. The goal with this was to preserve it and to keep it in my collection forever. So this holds a lot of sentimental value for me. I also have a PSA 8 Dragonite EX from Evolutions. This card is another one that I will never get rid of. The reason being is this is the card that got me back into collecting back in 2016. This card means so much to me. I actually pulled this card while sitting in, at the time, my girlfriend's car and had a small freak out. We went to the mall. I hadn't opened packs in, gosh, since I was a kid. Saw that they had a new deal with Evolutions on it, and I bought a Blastoise pack art and ended up pulling the Dragonite EX out of a GameStop and had a mini freak out in the car, upon which I was officially hooked back into the game. So I will never get rid of this card, and I'm very happy to own it. Another sentimental one for me, Lugia from Neo Genesis in a PSA 5. Why is this one sentimental? This is the last card that I have from my childhood. I do not have any others. I didn't sell them off. I didn't trade them. I either lost them or threw them away. Don't remember. But this card I kept in a box, and it doesn't have any creases. It's just the edges are very beat. I got this in a trade from a childhood friend of mine. This card also holds some sentimental value. I pulled this card when my wife and I went down to Dallas on a spur of the moment trip, and ended up pulling this out of an Evolutions pack in the car together. And my wife is not a big fan of Pokemon, but we both had a little mini freak out because it was a lot of fun. I should note, by the way, that this Dragonite that I pulled with my girlfriend at the time is now my wife. So I'm not hanging on to mementos from previous girlfriends. And then this is the last one that is sentimental. This is a Sylveon V that I picked up for my wife at the last Kansas City Collecticon. I actually got some trade-in cards that I really didn't want anymore. And I sent her Sylveon V off to get graded. I was hoping for the off-center or miscut label, and they just gave it a 7, which was unfortunate because it is very, very, very off. my wife is a big fan of Sylveon for what it's worth, and so that was the card that I decided to get her. All right, last 2 cards in my personal collection that I'm going to show you all that I'm not looking to move. Keep that in mind, because I know some of you are watching this thinking you're going to get them. PSA 10, Japanese, Poncho, Pikachu, Rayquaza. This is the 230. And I actually got this card raw and sent it off for grading myself and got the PSA 10. I picked this up from a guy over in Oklahoma City. He had posted them to Facebook Marketplace last year, early last year. And I messaged him and said, hey, I can be there in 2 hours. Brought cash and picked it up. So to go with this PSA 10, we also have a Beckett BGS Gold Label 10. And this card is immaculate. I only sent this card to Beckett because I thought it had a really strong shot at a black label. And I'm probably going to go ahead and do some graded card reviews this year at some shows. The chances of it moving off of the Gold Label 10 are very slim. They gave it a 9.5 for centering, and the rest got 10s, surface, corners, and edges. But if it gets a black label, if they convert it, we're talking, instead of it being worth $5,000, we're talking 20, 30, maybe more, because there's only 6 of them out there. So this is an absolutely gorgeous card. I have no intentions of moving this. At one time, I was trying to sell this one in my right hand, either sell or trade it, but I decided that I'd like to keep them both. I graded them both. They both are the most expensive cards that I have, and I picked them up at raw price, actually at a discount still, because I paid the guy in cash. And I just love these things. They're just so cool. I would like to add the skull Pikachu at some point, but that one's a little further down the list, just because I've got other cards that I'm looking to pick up, this year. So, guys, that was my personal collection. Keep in mind, I have 146 cards off at PSA right now. A lot of good stuff. Maybe a couple cards in there that I'm gonna PC. I've got some sitting on my desk right now that are gonna go off for grading. I mean, shoot, I picked this up yesterday. I got some cool stuff that I am looking forward to showing you all later down the road. And I will make it a point at some point going forward to try and make an update video if I've had some big moves, maybe halfway through the year and then at the end of the year, and then y'all can compare to what I started with. But this is my current personal collection. I have a lot more, but that's inventory that I use for shows. And so those are for sale, they're for trade. I don't consider them part of my personal collection. So if you guys have enjoyed this, I would really, really appreciate a subscription, a like, and a comment down in the box below. Stuff like that really, really helps small channels like mine to get pushed in the algorithm so that we can get our videos out to as many people as possible. I know a lot of you support, the big YouTubers, but don't forget the little guys. We would very much so appreciate it. So with that said, I will leave you all to it. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Don't forget, if you're up in Oklahoma or the surrounding Northeast Oklahoma area, we've got a show February 1st at the Arrow Springs Chapel in Broken Arrow / Coweta. And we also have a show coming up, House Divided, in Glenpool, February 8th and 9th. And lastly, we have the GG2 card show March 21st through 23rd at the Stony Creek Hotel in Broken Arrow, and that one is always a fantastic one. I look forward to seeing you guys here soon. Have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it may be, and we'll see you in the next one for GOATcher's cards. Thank you all.